I'm sure John is funny.
You guys gotta come right down front. There's gonna be two empty
You know me,
seats
I'm never
right in the
front row
front.
person.
No, I know.
Look at
6:02 and the public hearing will start. First, we'll do the pledge of allegiance. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First, we'll have citizen comments. Any citizen comments?
Are we talking about what you just did on Kentucky or?
You talk about anything, now's the time.
Is it a selected meeting or a town meeting?
This is a public hearing.
David Lamont, Wiley School. First, the chip seal on Stuckit come out pretty nice. I just had a couple of questions. First one is roads selected to be taken care of. When you're looking at your budget or how much you can do, who makes the determination on what needs to be done?
The determination comes from Public Works. What roads are more grave than others? With the chip, some of the roads can't be chip sealed, some of them are just, they need to be replaced. So they figure out what roads could you, like, they start with Shetucket, then they'll go to Brown Road or wherever.
Well, can I jump in here?
Yep.
We also have the contract with Beta, which did a scan of all 37.2 miles of town road. And they gave us recommendations for maintenance for each road and a schedule. And that's what Public Works is using to make their decisions. So it's not just we're randomly picking roads, it's we have data that was collected because Beta drove around with trucks and they scanned all the roads to get road conditions. And then they gave recommendations on whether it was a chip seal, whether it was a full replacement, all that sort of stuff. There was a host of things that they gave us.
Okay. So if we remember back last year at the town meeting that got the cops involved and over a lot of voicing over Williams Road over there off of Brown Road. And Shetucket was supposed to be chip sealed last year. But apparently they went over and did a pave job on Williams.
So the reason why Shetucket wasn't done last year wasn't a change in priorities. It was due to weather. So they ran out of time due to weather on what they
But there was
could do.
time to do Williams.
There was time to do Williams.
And I don't, when they were crack sealing and it got 90 degrees, you undercoated everybody's car. The stuff was running down the road.
Yeah, I had a few people calling about that. So we have the chip sealing company here tonight, I think. I don't know if they're gonna show up. They were supposed to be here. So
So my second question is, when are you gonna finish the rest of Shetucket? From Wiley School to the forest?
I don't know if that was on the plan. Do you, Brian?
It's really?
Shetucket's on the plan. Shetucket and not Valley. Ron, what's your road? Where is it?
James,
James Road.
he's on James Road.
James Road. So they were doing Shetucket, James Road, and I think Valley.
with a chip seal.
Yeah.
But Shetucket from Wiley School to the forest,
The back end,
you can't just chip seal that.
is that? Okay, I know what you're saying now.
You know where I mean?
Yeah, don't, to the dead end,
Yeah,
the dead end back there, you know.
the dirty chins.
I mean, I'll have to find out about that.
Have you driven?
I've driven. It's not great. I'm gonna agree, not good. So,
I'm just,
right,
curious where it fits in.
right. And I'll get to the bottom of that and ask them why. So. And
The other one got
and-
done that was just as bad. Right? Quickly.
Right. I will make that a note and I'll talk to the chip sealers if they're here tonight about it, and then if not, then I'll talk to the
That's a
public work.
complete rebuild.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A rebuild's a little tougher than just chip sealing.
But so wasn't the other one off of
Right.
Brown Road.
Right,
That was rebuilt
It
all.
wasn't rebuilt, it was just part of.
Yeah, well, okay, it was just tarred over. Yeah, but it was just as bad a shape as the rest of Chicago is.
That's the thing, it wasn't rebuilt.
Well, it's a lot better than it was.
we'll figure that one out. We'll try to figure that one out, and that's just like any other road in Volantown. We gotta look at it, process, and what we can afford, what can.
I one time, one of the past selectmen, I talked to him about it. Said, well, there's only one house down there. That was the wrong answer.
Did you hear me say that?
No,
No. Every road's a road here, whether it's one house on the road, whether it's 30.
right,
I look at it the same. So, and you drive around Volantown and some of these roads are not good at all. So, I mean, it's tough to, like, we can say that, and we can put Gallup on there, and we can put Kenny on there, and we can put, a ton of them on there too.
oh, yeah,
So there's a lot of work in Volantown. If we had the money, it'd be great. I wish I could call and say, well, we're gonna do this one this year, we'll do that one next year, or those two next year, but
well, you can put in your strong recommendation.
right.
Anybody else?
Okay. John,
Yep, I'm not messing with the TV, because it's still working, everything can be fine, but John's here.
new business, first part is the water study findings. John, you there? John,
I am here. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
I thought,
You shouldn't be coming through the TV, you should be coming
It's
through the.
the teacher.
Ron, can you hear us?
I can, yes. And I can see Brian and Sue.
Okay, so you're here on the laptop, give us a second, John, we'll get you on.
Okay. Take your time.
If it's the plug coming out from the garbage can on the wall or the.
oh yeah, I can see, yeah.
Well. You'll. Thanks, Tracy.
Pastime, and back.
Work here before?
All right, he's off. John?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Perfect.
yes.
Okay. So for the record, I'm John Guskowski. I'm the town's consulting planning director. I've been project managing the community water system study. Just have a brief statement about the current status. The Town of Voluntown Community Water System Study was initiated to evaluate whether a public water system could address recurring well reliability concerns, support future development, and enhance long-term water availability in two key areas of town. This study was prompted in part by drought conditions over the last several years and concerns regarding private well capacity, and particularly within the village center area and the beach pond area. We pursued and received a community infrastructure fund grant from the state of Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. This was a $250,000 planning and engineering study that was fully funded by the state. No municipal finances were required or involved. As part of this effort, the town conducted hydrogeologic investigations. We installed and monitored observation wells, and we performed water quality testing at several potential water source locations. In the village center, which study is basically getting wrapped up now, the observation wells showed promising groundwater availability in terms of pure flow. However, there was a need for treatment for detected levels of manganese and PFAS. We are still undergoing hydrogeologic investigations at Beach Pond to determine if a viable water source exists. We received preliminary findings, again, on the village center system. While a water system may be technically feasible in the village center, meaning that we have enough water for a community water system, the capital costs that would be associated with developing a permanent public water system supply system in the village area appears to be prohibitively expensive for the town to take on. So as a result of this expense, the pursuing a public water system in the village center does not appear to be a practical investment for the town unless significant, and we mean significant, outside funding was available for implementation. So at this time, town leadership has decided not to pursue any additional funding for the village center component. We will be having, we again, as I said, we are not done with the Beach Pond study. When that study is wrapped up, we will provide additional public information at that time when that component of the study concludes. I'd also just like to note that we have been maintaining a page on our community website, the town website, providing updates on the water system study, so people can check in on that. But again, the bottom line is the first phase of this study, focusing on village center, revealed sufficient water, but the capital costs for implementation were deemed too high, and we will not be pursuing further, studies or engineering along this line in the village. So happy to answer any questions that people may have.
John, how much was the significant capital cost for us to go further with this study? Do we have a number?
It was in the range of $15 to $18 million to basically stand up the system.
Thank you.
And a lot of that, certain infrastructure is expensive, but a lot of that had to deal with, building out water treatment capacity and storage and that sort of thing.
Who would maintain something like that? I think there'd be a reoccurring cost.
It would be maintained most likely. Again, if we were to consider something like that, and I want to reiterate, at this time, we are not. It would be maintained by the Connecticut Water Company, who is designated by the Department of Public Health to be the exclusive service provider for public water systems in this municipality. So we would essentially build it and then turn it over to Connecticut Water to maintain. So similar, there is a small water system out near Beach Pond, Tanglewood, a couple of roads over there. That is a small community system maintained by Connecticut Water.
And those residents receive a bill from Connecticut Water, correct?
Precisely, as they would for any other utility.
So that's not a reoccurring budget line item.
On the town, no, but it would then be anyone connected to it would get a monthly water bill.
Pretty big amount of money to put out.
Which is why we have
Not
chosen
any
at this time
return.
to not.
You wouldn't get any return on it.
It's, well, a public water system is not intended to be a money-making operation. It's a utility.
Right, it's. The reason why we even looked at this originally was because of the possibility of future economic development and growth in the town center. Some of the mandates from the state around, changing zoning so that, we could change from single-family dwellings to multifamily dwellings in town center. But with that sort of cost, that's a, oh no. Because right now it's costing town nothing to do the study.
Right.
So, and we've gotten an answer out of the study on the village center. We'll get an answer on Beach Pond. So we'll talk about that when that happens, but
It would have to be a real good well.
Right.
Exactly what area of the beach pond are you talking about?
John,
Yeah, it's
that's
basically,
Bennett Circle, right?
basically the Bennett Road, Bennett Circle area. The properties, and I mean, I think we may expand just the cost estimates to the north shore of Beach Pond also. But the initial study was intended to be basically the Bennett Road, Bennett Circle area, you know, the areas just immediately south of the pond itself. The area of highest residential density.
And it's not an area where you can bring in multifamily homes. I mean, everything's stacked in there.
Well, in the Beach Pond area, the idea there is recognizing that the properties are developed at quite a high density. Those are seasonal cottages that have gradually and continue to be converted from seasonal, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom cottages to 3, 4, 5-bedroom year-round houses that have a significantly higher water demand, and more importantly, require by public health code significant separation distances between water systems and septic systems. So that public health code significantly hinders people's ability to essentially build out their property and invest in their property, making improvements and frankly making their properties more valuable in a way that is, good for the town's grand list. And so because of public health limitations, sometimes those building expansions are hindered. And so the idea is if we can bring in public water, we can reduce the separation distance burden and allow people to develop at a more robust level.
You have a count of properties that you can do that with?
I'm sorry?
Do you have a number of properties that you possibly do that?
We didn't do a property by property analysis. We just basically drew a circle around the highest density of residential properties and said these would be the ones that would be included in a public water system study. Again, this is just a planning exercise.
So that's two separate systems. A
Yes.
village system and a pond system.
Correct. And so we've completed the research on the village system. The Beach Pond system is another 6 weeks behind.
any additional questions?
Can I ask a question? Did the town ever look at, the opposite situation where you provided a mutual septic tank instead of dealing with the well issue? Because, that also has a
Yeah.
separation thing going on.
Sure. So we did at the initial planning stages consider that. I mean, so if you're looking to do some sort of public infrastructure system, either a public water system or a public sewer system, either of those would help alleviate the development constraints. However, in very broad strokes, a sewer system is an order of magnitude more expensive than a public water system. Because you not only have to do all the pipes that you would for a water system, you also have to build a water treatment facility, a sewer plant. And so, whereas in rough numbers, if a water system in the village is going to cost us $15 million, a sewer plant would cost us 75 million. Like, and so we, you know, knowing those just how expensive
Oh, you're
sewer
talking
treatment
about
is
sewer
versus
system,
water.
but
Yeah.
Versus a larger septic system, which would be pumped out, which the homeowners could pay a fee to have maintained and pumped out every year, not.
Sure. And so a community, I mean,
Not a whole full-blown sewer system.
right, yes, we could look at, I mean, that is something that could be looked at, a community wastewater, basically a community septic system, like that would be certainly cheaper than a full-blown sewer system, but its size constraints would be quite low compared to, I mean, even the number of houses there right now, you wouldn't be able to get that number of houses on a, you know, a traditional community system, even if you had, you know, a bunch of acres for a, you know, a perfectly designed septic leach field. Not that you've got the space, you know, I don't know where down there you would be able to size a leach field that big. But yeah, I mean, that's a consideration, not, you know, falling short of a full sewer plant, yes. But we just didn't see that as feasible for the type of study we wanted to do with this money at this time. That could be something we look at in the future.
And then the only other question is a zoning question where a lot of other towns, if someone owns a small lot which can't be built on because it's too small, or they don't have the room for another well or another septic system, but they own an adjacent lot and want to upgrade their property, there's some towns that require that the homeowner combine the lots to make the lot more conforming.
Is that a question or a statement?
No, that's one way of alleviating too much buildup on the pond, because you still, people building up and adding bathrooms and adding all this stuff. You still have you're still close to the pond, and so you still have leaching water that goes down to the pond, because everything just about on that pond is uphill from the pond. So if you're building bigger houses with bigger bathrooms, going from cottages to full-blown houses that are 2-story or 3-story and 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms or whatever it is, you're adding beach water into the pond, which is a big concern because this is for the quality of the water.
Pretty sure everything down there pretty much is engineered septic now, if you're moving forward with something.
There's a lot of smaller cottages that are not.
Yeah, but you're not going from a 1-bedroom to a 5-bedroom without an engineered septic, I know.
No, you're not, but some people, we did it, we went up, but we still maintained, it was a 3-bedroom. We maintained a 3-bedroom, but there are some places that are smaller, a smaller lot, and so some with old septic systems, I don't know if you've ever seen the soap suds that run along the pond, yeah. Every weekend. It's just, what do you want? Do you want more development? Do you want the houses to be worth more? Do you just want people to be able to maintain their houses, or do you want the pond to maintain its quality of water in the long term because of tax dollars down there and tourism and all the fun people have down there in the summertime? Or is it just benefiting a few people for all this money?
We want all of the above for nothing.
All right, so John, since I got you on, we got the proposed extinguishment of the
One
town.
second. Oh, there was one more question.
Yeah, I want, there's just one thing about the water system. I know it's all preliminary. And I know the engineers and all have probably looked at this. I looked at a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the first study that was done, what was available at least. One thing I didn't see in there, taken into account, and I know this is just a study, is up in Massachusetts, a lot of towns went through the same problem over the decades. And they put city water in to solve a lot of the problems. in 20 years, they have more problems because you have to take into account when you pump water out to different locations, it'll raise the water table 6 feet in the town I'm in, and all the septics fail because you're pumping water to all these locations. So the all hydrology and everything else has to take into account theoretically, all that water being put in a different location. And as I'm just saying, we ended up paying $50 million for the septic system, for the sewer. Lucky though, you're next to a large city. So a large city took the sewer treatment. So we don't have a large city nearby to pipe it to. So that's just something I just didn't see in the study. Just chiming in from what I've seen, is that hit me in the pocket quite hard when that happened. I was north to connect. So got very, very expensive to connect because we had a bond and everything. Just pointing that out.
Okay,
Thank you.
John, you still there?
I am.
Okay, a proposed extinguishment of the town's right of way to Old Econ Hill Road. What did we come up with that?
That was a request made by abutters on Old Econk Hill Road, folks that basically have an old road right of way still under the control and ownership of the municipality. That was sort of handed over to the town when the state rebuilt 49 and rerouted it. There's a little eyebrow of a road that basically runs through a couple of people's backyards. And they made the inquiry and request that since the town clearly does not use nor need this, that it be formally extinguished, and the legal term is discontinued, so that the town can divest itself of that property, which it does not use nor need the liability on, and basically hand it off to the abutting property owners so that they can own it in fee simple. This was the request made. The Board of Selectmen considered this and referred it to the Planning and Zoning Commission for what's referred to as an 824 referral, referencing Connecticut General Statute Section 8-24. The Planning and Zoning Commission determined that this extinguishment of the road, formally through discontinuation, was appropriate and was in keeping with the goals of the Plan of Conservation and Development. They encouraged the selectmen to move forward on it. And in order to do so, if the selectmen wish to continue, the selectmen need to schedule a town meeting to formally vote to discontinue the road. And there are some, legal notifications in the newspaper, legal notifications to the abutters, as well as signage posted to properly notify the municipality of its intent. But that this would be basically a formal action requiring a majority town meeting vote, essentially to extinguish and say the town no longer has legal interest in this right of way.
All right, so how's September 22nd for a town meeting for this?
John, does that give us enough time? That's 60 days from tonight.
Yep. Yeah, you basically need to notify abutters 30 days prior, and post a sign 30 days prior. And then, you need to, because it's a town meeting, you need to legally notice it in the paper twice ahead of time, at least 15 days. So yes, 2 months out gives you plenty of time.
I make a motion that we set the town meeting for the discontinuance of Old Econk Hill Road under an 824 referral to September 22nd, 2026.
All in favor?
Aye.
September 22nd, town meeting.
At 7 p.m.
Maybe we're here. At town hall. Okay. Thanks, John.
Okay, thanks, folks.
Okay, next, the chip sealing guys are supposed to be here. Are they here? They did not show up, so we cannot talk to them. Which is great. Let's do tax refund now. We talked about the chip seal with that. I'll talk with the guys. I'll talk why they're not here tonight. So,
That's not.
but the company was supposed to be here tonight, the representatives of the company. And
Fine,
maybe the weather.
there's a miscommunication on the time, I just talked to Ron. And they think the meeting is at 7. But they should be on their way. They didn't know the meeting was 6, they thought it was 7.
Can't hold on for a half hour.
Let's reschedule with that.
Oh, the 22nd with them too. You'll do that?
Add them to September 22nd.
Okay, can you,
Was this a town meeting or a selectmen's meeting?
Public hearing.
public hearing?
What does it say on the book, community board up there?
Says on the website.
What is it, a town meeting?
Public hearing.
It says town meeting.
It says town meeting on the board. That was a mistake. That we fully take responsibility for and acknowledge, but this is a public hearing. The newspaper and the town website stated it was just the board that was the mistake. And that's the one that doesn't have a legal requirements. Not trying to get out of anything.
Well, then
But that's-
don't try and get out of it.
No, we're not trying to get out of it.
We take the hit.
Stop
Okay.
where you're at.
Doors are always open. You wanna come in, talk, whatever.
Well, no, I read it.
Yep, our mistake.
Oh, okay,
So,
that's fair.
so. All right, let's do the
Where do we have? 3?
tax refund. Four.
You have them?
Right, first one is for Robert Engel Jr. for 3145. Oh, no. 1145. Second one is for Toyota Lease Trust for 197.30. Third one is for Sean Dooley, Pounding Road, Voluntown, 40.52, $40.52. And the last one is Donna Stoll of Condon Road, and that one is $44.88.
I make a motion to issue tax refunds as recommended by the tax collector.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Make a motion